You're late again. Jessica didn't even turn to me when I entered the bedroom. Had problems at work? I started loosening my tie. End of quarter. Really, Mom says you stopped by her place. I froze. Damn! Yes, I did. She asked for help with her computer. At 9 in the evening? She called when I was driving from work. The lies came more easily now. It was on my way. Jessica finally turned around. There was something new in her eyes. Suspicion? You know what's strange? She didn't mention anything about the computer. Said you just stopped by to chat. I felt cold sweat running down my back. Well, yes, we chatted too. About what? Different things. Jess, what's with the interrogation? She looked at me for a long time. I don't know. Maybe because you've been spending too much time at my mother's lately? I turned to the closet, pretending to look for pajamas. Images from tonight flashed before my eyes. Amanda pressed against the wall. Her hot lips on my neck, hurried touches. David? What? You've been acting strange lately. I turned around, trying to smile. Just tired, really? She nodded, but I saw she didn't believe me. It all started 3 months ago. Amanda invited me to help with repairs in the garage. A normal request. I often helped my mother-in-law with household tasks. But that day something changed. Hot, she said, wiping sweat from her forehead. She wore a simple tank top and shorts. Want a beer? We sat in the garage, sipping cold beer. Talked about work, about life, about how she was coping after the divorce, about my problems with Jessica. She suddenly said, sometimes I think I wasted my best years on a marriage without passion. I looked at her, slim, fit, with light gray in her dark hair. At 45, she looked amazing. It's not too late to change everything, I said. You think? She moved closer. And you? Do you ever regret the choices you've made? Our eyes met, and something clicked. The first kiss was unexpected for both of us. The second, not so much. This is madness, she whispered. Complete madness, I agreed, unbuttoning her tank top. Since then, we met at every opportunity. At her house, in motels, once even in my office after work. It was like an obsession, uncontrollable passion that drove us crazy. And now Jessica suspects something, and I don't know what to do. Good night, my wife said, turning off the light. I lay in the darkness, listening to her breathing and thinking about Amanda, about how she moans beneath me, about how she whispers my name, about how... The phone quietly vibrated. Message from Amanda. Miss you. Can you stop by tomorrow? I looked at my sleeping wife and replied, yes. Who's Amanda? Jessica's voice came unexpectedly as I came out of the shower. What? In your phone, messages from Amanda. I felt the ground disappear from under my feet. You went through my phone. Yes, and you know what? I'm glad I did. She held my phone like evidence. Miss you. Can't wait to see you. Yesterday was amazing. Is this my mother, David? Jess, answer me! Listen, it's not what you think. Really? She threw the phone on the bed. Then explain it to me. Explain why my mother writes you such messages. Why you meet with her almost every day. Why... We're just friends. Friends? She laughed bitterly. Do you sleep with my friends, David? Stop it! No, you stop it! Stop lying to my face! I sat on the edge of the bed, covering my face with my hands. What do you want to hear? The truth. Just once in your life, tell me the truth. I can't. Because you're sleeping with my mother? Jess, please. She went to the closet, pulled out some paper. You know what this is? A motel bill. Fell out of your jacket last week. I went cold. That Tuesday when Amanda and I'm not stupid, David. I see everything. How you look at her, how she flirts with you, how you both tense up when I enter the room. I'm sorry. Sorry? She shook her head. Is that all you can say? At that moment, the phone rang. Amanda. Jessica picked up. Hi, Mom. Yes, David's home. We're actually talking about you. I jumped up trying to take the phone, but she pushed me away. You know, Mom, I'm reading your messages here. Very interesting reading. Silence on the line. Mom, are you there? Jessica, honey. Amanda's voice trembled. Don't you dare call me honey. How could you? You're my mother. Let's meet. Talk. About what? About how you're sleeping with my husband? Please don't. Don't what? How the hell am I supposed to react? I took the phone from her. Amanda, I'll call you back. Jessica looked at me with hatred. You're not even denying it. Why should I? You already know everything. How long? 3 months. And do you love her? I was silent. What could I say? You know what? She headed for the door. You have a choice. Either you end this, whatever this is, or I file for divorce. I sat in my car outside Amanda's house. 2 hours had passed since the conversation with Jessica. 2 hours of inner turmoil and trying to figure out what to do next. Amanda opened the door without waiting for the bell. "She knows," she said instead of greeting. "Yes? Come in." We went into the living room. Everything here reminded me of our meetings. The couch where we made love, the bar where we drank wine afterward, the photographs on the walls, including our family photo, where all three of us smile at the camera. "What are we going to do?" Amanda poured herself whiskey. Her hands were shaking. She gave me an ultimatum. "Either I stop seeing you or divorce." "And what did you choose?" I looked at her. "What would you choose?" "Don't answer a question with a question." "Fine, I don't know, Amanda. Really don't know." She sat next to me, rested her head on my shoulder. "You know what's worst?" she whispered. "I don't regret it. I don't regret anything. I love you, David." Those words, we had never said them before. Everything had been about passion, physical attraction, about forbidden fruit. "Don't," I stood up. "Don't make this more complicated." "Why? Afraid to admit that you feel something too?" "I'm married to your daughter." "So what? Does that change what's between us?" I walked to the window. It was starting to rain outside. "Remember our first time?" she asked quietly. Of course I remembered. That day in the garage, the taste of beer on her lips, passion that hit us like a tsunami. "Amanda, stop. No, you listen. I lived 20 years in a marriage without love, then divorce, loneliness, and suddenly there was you, and for the first time I felt alive." "What about Jessica? She's your daughter." "You think I don't torture myself? Don't hate myself every time I see her? But I can't stop loving you." I turned to her. In the dim light of the living room, she looked especially beautiful and so vulnerable. "We have to stop this," I said. "We have to," she came closer. "But can we?" Her lips were so close. The familiar scent of her perfume made my head spin. "No," I pulled away. "Not now. I need to think." "What's there to think about? Either you love me or you don't." "It's not that simple." "It is. You're just afraid to admit your feelings." I headed for the door. At the threshold, I turned around. "Give me time, just a few days." "Time won't solve our problems, David." "I know, but maybe it will help me understand what I really want." The next week turned into hell. Jessica slept in the guest room. I couldn't concentrate at work. My phone was blowing up with messages from Amanda. "We need to talk," Jessica said at breakfast, "about your decision." "I'm trying to end it." "Trying?" She laughed bitterly. "Does she know, judging by how often your phone rings? No." At that moment, the phone vibrated again. I turned it off. "Jess, give me a chance to fix everything." "What chance, David? You slept with my mother. How can that be fixed?" I was silent. What could one say? "You know what's worst?" she continued. "I can see that you're suffering, that this isn't just a fling. You fell in love with her, didn't you?" "No." "Don't lie, at least not now." That evening I went to Amanda's, told myself for the last time, just to talk. "I missed you," she reached to kiss me. "Don't," I pulled away. "I came to say it's over." She froze. "You chose her. She's my wife."
And me.
You're a mistake. A beautiful one, but a mistake." "A mistake?" Her eyes filled with tears. "What's between us? A mistake?" "Amanda." "No, you listen. Remember what you told me last time? That you've never felt anything like this. That I make you feel alive. Was that a mistake too?" I was silent. She came closer. "Look me in the eyes and tell me you don't love me." I couldn't. Damn it, I couldn't. Instead, I was kissing her, desperately, hungrily, knowing everything was going to hell. "Stay," she whispered. And I stayed, again. I returned home after midnight. Jessica was waiting in the living room. "Where were you?" Don't answer. You smell of her perfume." She stood up, went to the table, pulled out papers. "What's this?" "Divorce papers. I made the decision for you since you can't make it yourself." "Wait," I grabbed the papers. "Let's talk." "About what? About how you just slept with my mother?" "Jess, you know what's funny? I was always proud of what a good relationship I had with Mom, how modern and understanding she was. But it turns out," she sat on the couch, covering her face with her hands. I had never seen her so broken. "Tell me," she suddenly said. "What?" "Everything. How it started. Why? I want to understand." I took a deep breath. "Are you sure?" "Yes, I have the right to know." And I told her. About that day in the garage. About how innocent flirting turned into something more. About the meetings, the passion, the feelings I hadn't expected. "Do you love her?" "I don't know. Really don't know. With her, everything's different." And with me. With you, it's peaceful, secure, but not passionate? I was silent. She laughed bitterly. You know what's funny? When I was little, Mom always said, find a man who will love you like Daddy loves me. And then she divorced him because there was no passion. At that moment, the doorbell rang. We looked at each other. It's her, Jessica said. I called her. Let her come. Let's all talk together. Amanda looked confused. Seeing both of us in the living room, she went pale. Sit down, Mom. Jessica pointed to the chair. David was just telling me how it all began. Honey, don't call me that. Not now. We sat as three, forming a strange triangle, a family drama at its finest. I love him, Amanda suddenly said. And me? Jessica asked quietly. Do you love me? Of course you're my daughter. Who you stabbed in the back? You know what? Jessica stood up. I won't do you the favor of playing the victim. Decide for yourselves. She took out the divorce papers. Here. David, if you love her, sign them. Be happy. Really, I'll survive. Amanda and I exchanged glances. And if I don't sign, then Mom leaves. Forever. No meetings, no calls, complete break. Jessica, Amanda began. I'm your mother. You can't. I can, and I will, choose. I looked at the papers, then at Amanda. Beautiful, desirable, passionate. At Jessica, my wife, reliable, familiar. Give us a minute, I said to Jessica. Amanda and I went to the backyard. What are we going to do? She asked. What do you want? You, but this will destroy everything, her life, our family. I looked at her carefully. You know what I realized? We didn't fall in love with each other. What do you mean? We fell in love with the idea, with passion, with forbidden fruit, with what we both were missing. She was silent for a long time, then nodded. You're right. Probably you're right. We returned to the house. Jessica was waiting, nervously tapping her fingers on the table. I'll leave, Amanda said. To Europe. Always wanted to. Mom! No, listen, I ruined everything, I know. But I don't want to lose my daughter, and David is right. What was between us? It wasn't love. It was escape. From loneliness, from routine, from... She didn't finish, started crying. Jessica approached her mother, hesitated for a second, then hugged her. I don't forgive you, she said quietly, but maybe someday I'll be able to understand. I looked at them, mother and daughter, two women I loved differently, and understood I had made the right decision. A year has passed. Amanda lives in Italy, sometimes sends postcards. Jessica started communicating with her, rarely, cautiously, but still. Jessica and I worked hard on our relationship, went to therapy, learned to trust each other again. It wasn't easy. Sometimes at night, I still remember those passionate meetings with Amanda, but now it's like an old movie, exciting, but no longer mine. They say true love is a choice you make anew each day. I choose Jessica. Every morning, every day. And passion, maybe it just needs to be different, more mature, more conscious. Sometimes the right choice isn't the one that makes your heart beat faster, but the one that helps it beat steadily. Did you like this story? Let us know in the comments what you liked. Subscribe to our storytelling podcast. Also, don't forget to like and ring the bell so you don't miss more interesting stories. See you soon.